All right, Crisella, some breaking news coming in now. Advocate Malesela Teffo has been struck off the roll of advocates. Just talk to us about that and any bearing on the case.
Well, that's right, Nzinga. That breaking news coming from my colleague Malesela Teffo, who is inside that particular courtroom. Advocate Malesela Teffo, quite a controversial figure. Now that he's been struck off the roll, you would recall, he was a very controversial figure in this particular matter. He had started off as the defense for accused number 1 to 4. And, he basically withdrew from this matter, accusing this court of a bias. He had several run-ins with the presiding judge, Chifiwa Maumela, and he recused himself or withdrew from this particular matter, citing that bias. We understand that there had been 22 complaints against Advocate Malesela Teffo, and this was predating the Senzo Meyiwa trial. The Legal Practice Council said that some of these complaints ranged from allegations of misconduct, and he, of course, being a central figure in this matter, where there have been accusations of him wanting to be the center of this trial, not wanting, to let this trial proceed, being accused of multiple delays in this particular matter. Many legal practitioners in this matter also, frowning upon his conduct with inside the courtroom when he was still the legal representative for accused number 1 to 4. You would recall as well, there had been a situation where, he'd used an F-bomb, as young people would say, inside the courtroom. He had said it was an effed up situation. I hope I'm not going to get into too much trouble for using that. And, legal practitioners, many who we have spoken to complained about the manner in which he had conducted himself inside that court. But of course, he felt like he had done nothing wrong. Recall, he'd even accused the highest office in the land of being behind a cover-up in this matter, accused the Police Minister Bheki Cele of also being behind a cover-up in this matter. We also subsequently saw the highest office in the land, the President's office, the presidency, deny all the claims that he had made. So he'd had quite a run-in, with some of his colleagues, as well as some of the legal practitioners who had also frowned upon the manner in which he'd conducted himself inside court. So there's going to be lots of reaction to this news now that he's been struck from the roll. I'm sure my colleague Malesela Teffo will speak to the concerned parties, the Legal Practice Council as well, to try and get an update on this. But of course, running concurrently on that, this matter now, the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial being postponed. And of course, the central figure prior, Advocate Malesela Teffo, now being struck off the roll of advocates. Remember, also yesterday, we were also surprised in Nzinga when he arrived in court. He had been all robed, and we wanted to understand exactly what his participation in the matter would be. And with all of that, we then heard from the judge when we began proceedings yesterday that he wanted to see the judge. He wanted to talk about this controversial docket 375, which we believe those that were inside the house, including Kelly Khumalo, her mother, her sister, as well as Longwe Twala, and the current witness that was on the stand over the past few days, Tumelo Madlala, that, they were suspects in that docket 375. He wanted to talk to the judge about that, and the legal representatives for the other accused are not willing to accompany him to the judge's chambers. The judge also saying he was very concerned about what was taking place. So he had been a relatively central figure in this particular matter. He is not back on the Senzo Meyiwa trial, but I'm sure many in the legal fraternity will opine on the latest developments that you've just told me about him being struck from the role of advocates. 22, we understand, complaints that had been lodged against him at the Legal Practice Council predating the Senzo Meyiwa trial.
SABC News senior reporter Crisella Lewis giving us an update there. In news just in, Advocate Malesela Teffo has been struck off the roll of advocates by the High Court in Pretoria for improper conduct and theft of clients' money. The High Court says Teffo has no regard for the justice system and is not fit and proper to continue practicing as an advocate. The High Court says the removal of his name from the roll of legal practitioners is justified.